these so you can hear their story. And our topic today is what's working now to get new clients. Because even though when you turn on the news and you're hearing not just the C word, but the R word, talk about recession, a lot of fear around the economy and things, challenging financial times, I am bringing you today a group of people that I hope will really inspire you with what's possible, because these are all women who joined me in April, and we really focused on helping them to not just survive this period, but thrive. And all of this came about because way back in mid-March, as news of the pandemic was starting to hit, I knew that I really wanted to take a stand for my clients. And I knew that this period of time did not have to be doom and gloom, but could represent a massive opportunity. And so you may have heard me at the time. I did a couple of Facebook Lives at the time where I was really urging people to stay focused, keep your attention on the results you want. And I really wanted to have something to support my clients during this period. So I created a 30-day program. And I remember thinking this was going to be a unique container where I could work closely with them. I could really support them, dealing with any fears and keeping their mindset strong, but most importantly, keeping them focused on the specific actions to take day after day that would ensure that they would continue to attract leads and put money in the bank. We kept it super simple, very low tech lead generation. We weren't building any complicated sales funnels. One of my mottos is you focus on the place where money changes hands. So our focus was on sales conversation, having conversations with people, leading to them hiring my clients and giving them money. And the results were extraordinary. So 15 days into this, 60% of the group had made at least one sale. One of the people that you'll meet here tonight did over £33,000 in sales in 1 week. Another one right now is celebrating $18,000 so far this month. We're not at the end of the month yet. And but more important than the monetary wins, which you are going to hear about tonight, I want you to pay attention to the personal growth wins. I want you to pay attention to how much their confidence has grown, because having not just survived the past couple of months, but emerged stronger and wiser, they know now that they're really poised to name their own ticket. So I think you're going to really enjoy what we have lined up for you. I'm going to be bringing each of them on individually in turn. I will also put to them any questions that you want to ask in the chat. And let's take it away. So first of all, Loretta, I'd like to come to you. Loretta in South Africa. So thank you so much for joining. Tell us first of all a little bit about you and your business.
So I'm a homeopath by profession, and I've been in private practice for 25 years, and I was actually on the verge of sort of pivoting my business onto a more online coaching platform. So when I started the 30-day program, I essentially was starting from scratch, to be quite honest. I did have a product, but I'd never really made a sale before, because my whole career has been on word of mouth. I live in a small town, everybody knows, people tell other people. I've never ever had to make a sales conversation. So that's where I started at the beginning of the 30-day program.
So this was brand new territory for you.
Yep.
And I remember actually when you first joined and I asked everyone to put a post about what they most wanted to get and where they wanted to be at the end of 30 days, you said, oh, I hope I'll have clarity on what my offer will be. And I jumped on and said, I think you're going to have a bit more than clarity about your offer, because I'm expecting you to start enrolling clients next week.
I think I got a bit more than that, yes.
And tell us so where are you now? So we did this in April, and now it's 27 days. So it's nearly 60 days in total since we kicked off on the 1st of April. But tell us, how is business now? What's happened since the 1st of April?
Well, since the 1st of April, I have sold 7. I've made 7 sales. Yeah. Which were all done off fostering a relationship with someone and actually having a sales conversation with him, and them saying yes, which has been absolutely groundbreaking for me. And because I'm in South Africa, and because we've got, our currency is not great. In dollar, when I say in rand terms, I've earned more money in the last 60 days than I have in the last 5 months.
Wow.
Together.
Wow. And have those been sales inside of South Africa, or have you done any international sales?
I've done two actually international sales, but they're South Africans.
Oh.
So just so happens that they knew me before. They're people that have met me here and then have since left. So yeah, most of the sales have all been in South Africa. And, I know that we're talking about recessions and all the rest, and things are not great here. So if anyone doesn't have money, it is definitely in our country, because we were heading into a recession long before COVID. Yeah. So, it's been remarkable.
That's really inspiring then. It's inspiring worldwide, but especially for any South African watching this, for you to be able to say, look, in 60 days, I made more money than I did in the previous 5 months. That's really powerful. Wow. And you had a lot of success with your Facebook group. You kind of sprung up your Facebook group, and that's now hit 1,000 followers.
Yes, so I've been dabbling in the online thing probably for 2 or 3 years, but actually just didn't have a system that made it practical and was able to turn the skills into money. So I had a Facebook group, the beginning of the 30-day program. It had been dormant for about 8 months, and there were 177 people on it. And now today, I think we've got 1,033. So friends have invited friends, and people have invited people, and it's just mushroomed.
Yeah. And as you know, this is the one strategy that I give to all of my clients. It's like, get a Facebook group. It's the best place to grow an audience. You can do lives into the group like we're doing here. You can connect with your members. It's a great place to like nurture relationships. And you've had a lot of success with getting sales conversations from your Facebook group, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've been doing Facebook Lives for a long time, but I didn't understand how to turn that Facebook Live or how to structure it in a way that actually enabled me to even recognize that people were asking for help. And so that's, I think, what's changed, is that some of the structure of the live has changed. So I haven't had to change. I'm still doing more or less the same thing I've always done. But because I'm asking questions and I'm asking for responses, and I'm actually looking to see in the comments and the reactions who has said what, and recognizing that that is an opportunity to connect with those people. And it's really opened it up for me, because that wasn't happening before.
Yeah, so you're basically able to see opportunities now that you couldn't see before.
Right.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, what would you say was your biggest takeaway from this 30-day experience?
My biggest takeaway was the fact that, just carry on doing the work, because I bumped up against a lot of my fears. I bumped up against all the, I'm not good enough. Oh, this is not going to work. This is so hard. I don't know how to do this. But I stuck to the plan, because you said at the beginning, these are the things you have to do. If you do this consistently, I know this will work. So it's like, well, I didn't think this was going to work, but this is what she said. So that's what I did. I just took the consistent action. And as I got more comfortable with it, I started gaining momentum, and then it started working. So you were right.
Yeah, it does work, I promise. But you have to put it into action. And I do want to ask you, so you've just mentioned, 60 days, you've made more sales than you have done in the previous 5 months. Where do you think you would be now if you hadn't have said yes and joined me at the start of April?
I think I would probably be, it took me a long time to make the decision to actually pivot my business. I'd be thinking, I should have just stayed doing what I was doing, because I was actually managing it. And even though I was unhappy, I probably would have been better off. But I would still have been selling. I would have been selling time. I would have been limited by how much time I'm selling. I would have been hugely limited by the cost at which I was, the price I was setting. And I'd probably still be sitting with more bills than money in the bank. For sure.
Right. So you're glad you said yes to yourself?
I'm totally glad I said yes to myself, and I'm proud of myself for persevering, because it was not easy, but there was a structure, and there was a safety net, and that really helped. So yeah. So thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
The plan is simple, but working the plan is consistently is the bit that's tough, isn't it? Yeah. It's
working the plan through your own issues, because it's in working the plan that your stuff comes up, and then you realize, I didn't think I had that. I really have got that. So it's being able to push through. And the one thing that you said was, that, you know, the breakthrough often happens just when the breakdown is about to happen. That was the part that really stuck for me, because there were I hit a few breakdown spots, didn't break down, but it felt like it. And I'm like, oh, this is trying to give up. But that really was true. The breakthroughs always happened in leaning into that discomfort.
Yeah, definitely. That's been my experience too. Well, thank you so much, Loretta. Stick around because we'll be opening up for questions later. And I'll come next to Rebecca. So Rebecca's joining us from... I'm unmuting you, Rebecca. Hold on. Hey, there she is. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
You're joining us from Charleston.
Charleston, South Carolina, USA.
Tell us all about your business.
So I am a clinical hypnotherapist and divorce coach, sacred money archetypes coach. I've been in business for 25 years. And I'm sorry it's so bright in here. I literally have all the blinds closed.
It's your future. It's your future, Rebecca. That's why it's so bright.
I should be wearing shades. Isn't that the song? So I've been doing one-off sessions for people for over 2 decades. I went through a phase back several years ago where I started doing packages, but I didn't stick to it. And as we were heading into this COVID thing, I've been on your email list for probably a decade and loved your content, and life happens and things get on the back burner, and some things shifted for me where I was just completely going to be on my own financially, and I got your email and it said you were doing this 1-month intensive and we were about to go on lockdown. And my intuition had been telling me for a couple of years, you need to go online, you need to, move virtually, or at least get part of your work virtual. And when I read that email, I just was like, I need to do this. I need to do something when I'm alone, because I live by myself, where I can focus on where I want to be after all this is over, instead of getting caught up in the collective fear.
Mm. And so tell us about your experience. What have your results been since then?
Well, I have shifted to probably about 80% doing selling packages. And what I think you really helped me with was getting very congruent about not feeling like I'm being salesy or pushy or giving someone a sales tactic, as someone's husband accused me of, by selling people a 3-month package for things like chronic anxiety, things that they've been struggling with for years. And I know in my heart that they need a certain amount of time, because I work with the subconscious mind, to help them to make those changes, because it's not just giving them something to implement, it's really helping them to change at the level of the belief system, and then that manifests outward. So I knew I needed to switch for most people for the kind of work they want help with to 3 months. And thanks to our work together, I was able to clear all my fears around being honest about that and telling people what I think they need. And I even, huge breakthrough for me, and it was really emotional, turned away a client who was not willing to work with me in a 3-month capacity, because I knew that it would be a situation where she comes for a few sessions, and like Loretta says, when she hits the, the breakdown before the breakthrough, she would walk away. I see that with women with emotional eating and dieting. And so that was a huge just shift for me. And so it's like, yeah.
So before, this is a very common challenge for people in your line of work, which is selling by the session, which means it's like you're always looking for your next client. It means you have to be stuck in perpetual marketing mode. And actually, I've been saying for over a decade, if you sell packages, it increases your average value per client. You don't need as many clients. your client is more committed, you know, because, and you're committed to them, and it's just much better for your business overall. So you knew you needed to do that, but you hadn't been able to do that on your own.
Yes. And, you know, I think one of the most amazing things about the 1 month program is having you with us every day was priceless, because it allowed things to be course correcting happening daily. It allowed the emotional process that you go through when you're making any big mindset shift to be supported, and for you to really guide us all through, and hearing other people going through the same things and talking it out and helping us push through to this place where the biggest gift was now knowing I am not serving people if I'm not charging a certain amount, or if I'm not requiring a certain level of commitment on their part, like time-wise, that I am not serving in the highest, best way. And that's been just monumental. It's been just a game changer.
I'm going to be quoting that when I get to Marina in a second, because that's her favorite phrase about this experience. Now, you've had some big financial wins too, haven't you?
Yeah.
Care to share?
So, yeah, like Loretta, the month of May, I've so far done 18,000, and typically, like, what's been the trend, I mean, Christmas time, you know, I mean, there's a roller coaster with things like this, but I would say typically I made more in the month of May than last year, the whole, like, probably January to May.
Wow. So again, 5 months. Yeah. Well, yeah. Wow, that's incredible. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. And what's next for you?
I think leveraging my time to do one-to-many and figuring out some group offerings, and probably then maybe even upping my prices a little bit more, because now, like, better quality problem is, like, I've signed up, like, since this program started April 1st, I probably signed up 10 3 months, you know, people not you know, at different, or, you know, and so it's like, okay, now I got to figure out, but man, that's a problem I'd rather have.
I'll help you with that.
Yeah.
I'll help you with that, with leveraging your time. And like I asked Loretta, what would you say has been your biggest takeaway from this experience?
I think really finding a coach like you who is so heart-centered, which is in alignment with me. Like, I would call myself a soulpreneur, a soulfully ambitious person. So I do this work out of this feeling like it's a higher calling for my soul. And I finally, with you, found a business coach, and I've worked with many over the years, that's really heart-centered and helped me to align with living my soul purpose, and how that works with the money piece of it. Because this old paradigm is that if you're a soulpreneur, if you're doing this because it's a soul calling, or you're a light worker or a healer, that you shouldn't, you know, be focused on the money. And you help to just totally turn that around. And then also, I'd say the biggest thing is that you provide a system. And you kept saying, work the system will do the work. And I need that, because maybe because I'm very creative, but I just like to not think. It's like when I go to the gym, I love having a trainer. They just tell me what to do and I do it. So that's the other thing, is not only are you combine the heart-centered, really aligning that with, like, your whole brain. You're just totally whole brain, which is me too. So you can provide the system, and you do the steps, and the steps work if you do it. And then if you're not doing the steps, you lovingly show us where our mental blocks are. And so that's the bomb, the two together.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, where do you think you would be right now if you hadn't listened to your intuition back at the end of March and said yes to this experience?
I would be, after my Charleston Hypnosis Center being closed for 6 weeks, I would be probably in just a state of frantic stress and feeling defeated and feeling very like scared about the recession and what's coming. So my mindset would be more reactive, and instead now it's like proactive. Focus on what I want to create, work the steps, course correct, and stay focused on what I want to create.
Yeah.
And how I want to serve. So.
Because it's pretty amazing that you've now got the confidence to turn away clients if they're not a perfect fit. I don't know many people at this moment in time who really have the guts to do that, and you do. So that's testament to your belief in yourself and your belief in what you're doing moving forward.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm sure you've inspired so many therapists and hypnotherapists with your story there. So let me come to Nikki. Hey, Nikki. Now, people have been around me for a while, may well have met you in the past, because you and I go way back. 2011?
I know. How time flies when you're having fun.
So why and I mean, at this point, I've shared a lot with you. So why did you say yes to this opportunity? Why did you decide to do the 30-day program?
I think it was, we run a program for recruitment business owners, and the dynamics of the world suddenly changed on their heads. And the thing for us was what we had been teaching wasn't fit for purpose at that specific time. And I knew they needed something else, but I wasn't sure what it was. And I don't know, you've always had the answers for me over all of these years, and you know, in many different guises. And I totally trust you, and I know that whatever we have this saying, trust the process. Wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I knew it'd be something pretty good. Didn't think it'd be as good as it was, but yeah, I knew needed to trust the process and just see where it went.
And you achieved amazing results over these 30 days.
I know. I was really surprised, and I'll tell you why. So in the 2008 recession, for me, I was a totally different person at that time, and I remember saying to you, you know, what happens if this all kicks up again? And over the years, I've changed my mindset around so many different things and shifted to, I've got a totally different view on the world. And so what really blew me away, there was also a bit of resistance, because I was like, God, you know, right, this is going to be hard work. And I was cross. I was like I was going to use an excuse then, but I won't. I'm going to need to really do something I didn't want to do, that's going to take a lot of energy. But it was interesting. As soon as I made the decision to do that, it was really easy. And then we did 33 grand's worth of sales in a week, and it was like magic. And so we launched a brand new program, but also then what happened, we picked up 4 sales for our Rocket program that same week, and it was just it was so totally unexpected. And I think this whole experience has just been like upside down in such a good way from what had happened sort of in 2008. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
So I really want to ask you, because there could be people watching this who, like you, may have worked with me in the past, may have been around my content for years. So what for you were the big takeaways of being in this particular program?
I think the strategy was really simple. It was easy to implement, and it got results really quickly. And I think, I've struggled to find any other coach globally who has helped me get the results that you have. And
I'm disappointed to hear you've been looking.
Well, not in terms of what you do, but like in terms of other stuff, Facebook ads, or so yeah, I don't know. It was a really, really simple strategy, and similar to Rebecca, like, you know, I need to have structure, and I do like process, but I do go off on tangents, and I just knew, and I've always had this mantra with you: if Bernadette says do it, then just do it, and you get the results. And JFDI, and so, and it was really simple. The process was really simple, and we started to see results very quickly. And similarly to the other guys, like wherever we felt that resistance. So when I got angry about having to do something which I really hadn't planned to do and just got on and did it, then the magic's really started happening. So there was definitely breaking through new barriers that we hadn't covered before or hadn't done before. Yeah. And the other thing about the strategy is I haven't seen anybody else teaching this strategy anywhere in the way that you've been doing it, and it's a really clever strategy to make sales in a difficult climate, and it makes them easy. And so that was one of the things that made a big difference for us, is that, you know, the other strategies had suddenly sort of quietened down, whereas this strategy suddenly went through the roof. So yeah, it was good.
Fantastic. And so also must ask you, where do you think you would be now if you hadn't have said yes to yourself back at the end of March and jumped on board this for the month of April?
Ooh. Frustrated, I think. I had been frustrated and bored. I think like it really kick-started something in us that we were then able to kickstart in a lot of other people. And I think I sent you a message about this, because the work that we did with you in that month of April impacted us, but it's impacted then hundreds of other people. And it's like this cascade. It's really cool that, you know, our clients are saying thank you so much for like stepping up, you know, and like we wouldn't be in this position, and people are really, you know, but it's like life, not life or death, but, you know, like it's people's livelihoods that have shifted and their confidence. So the actual sort of ripple effect has been massive, and it's and I think for anybody questioning should they do that, like if you can't do it for yourself, then do it for your connections and their families and your family, because it's just, the ripple effect is absolutely spectacular. It's cool. It's been a humbling experience.
Wow. Thank you, Nikki. That's amazing. Keep
Well,
on
thank
shining.
you.
Keep on shining and keep inspiring. Keep leading in that way. That's true leadership you're describing there.
Can I just say something also? Like one of the biggest takeaways for me is like, no matter what market you're in, whether you're in the R place or the C place, or whether you're in a buoyant market, the sales process is the same. And I think it's just making sure that you're focusing on the right actions with the right strategy. You will be successful in whatever market. And that, for me, I hadn't experienced that ever before. I'm 45 now and I've been in sales my entire sort of adult life, and that really has shifted. And I think it's a mixture of the strategy and also the mindset, which is what you've taught me over these years. So thank you.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right, Marina, let's come to you. Hello.
Hi.
Also have to acknowledge that, well, actually everybody here has children, but you're in a very unique situation in that you are on lockdown on your own with your 5-year-old.
Yeah.
But I can imagine many women in your situation, when this opportunity came along, basically using that as the reason that they couldn't do it. And, you know, and who would have blamed you if you'd have said, no, this is impossible. I can't do this program for the next 30 days when I'm taking care of my son on my own.
Well, interestingly enough, I really had no choice. I had 2 streams of income dry up overnight, and I was like, okay, what's left? What's left? And I was already a little bit into action. I felt a call to finally take my little finger out and actually start committing. And I've been in this game for like last 10 years, but what I realized during this when I signed up with you was that I was really not that committed to it. There was always something else I could do, or like, creative avoidance, as it were. And so when I don't know, one of those moments, and I can't even remember what it was, but you kind of said something, and it was like, yeah, all right then. And I reached out to you, didn't I? And I said, okay, I think I need to do this. I'm already in action. I'm already in motivation. Okay, let's do this. And I'd been flirting with you for a really long time. And I'd get on sales calls, and never with you personally, and then I wouldn't do it. I was really scared. I was really scared because nothing had worked. It was really inconsistent, and I was tired. It was kind of like I was on this treadmill, not really getting anywhere. And I had automated stuff way before I needed to. As you kindly have shared many times, it's beautiful creative avoidance. So, I was the person that decided to automate Facebook ads and all that sort of stuff. And deeply frustrated, knowing that I'd, spent all of this time, all of this effort, all of this money to, and having had all of this life experience to be able to share that with other mothers, because I work with mums who have businesses and women as well. And I was a very frustrated, I was kind of like would dodge it, and kind of go, oh, I'll go over here then. I'll go and look at that project. And in the meanwhile, there was this sort of sense that I was being called to do more, and yet had no idea how to make that work. And I remember thinking to myself time and time again, if only somebody would show me the way, I would take the action.
Yeah.
And just before Christmas, I remember you reached out to me, and I was in a really bad headspace. I was like off. I wasn't doing anything. I just needed some time for me. And then I came bouncing back, and I'm like, okay. And then I saw your offer, and I was like, what? Working with Bernadette every single day, getting on a call with her for an hour. Oh yeah, like it was a no-brainer. It was an absolute no-brainer, because for me, it was like the price versus the value was just like, oh my God, yes. So I was already I was already moving. But I had no idea what would happen in the process. So I was like, okay, yeah, Bernadette, okay, tell me what to do, because I had no choice. It really is that simple. I've got an incredible skill, and it just needed to be used. So I really committed. I was like, I'm going to commit. I was on the calls every single day. I was taking action every single day. And it hasn't been easy. I've got a 5-year-old, as you know, that deems a lot of attention. And so I had to just go, you know what? I love you, but I'm in this. And this is my priority right now. And to hell with the guilt, to hell with all of that. This is where I'm focusing for our future, for you and me, for me and Leo, to be able to actually have a life and to carry on in the way that we've been. But you know something, I shared that with you, Bernadette, that if I hadn't taken this step, well, I can share with that later, but for now, I discovered I had a belief, and I think this is where the rubber meets the road, is you take action and then you confront all the stuff that you didn't even know you had. And because if you haven't confronted it, of course you don't know it's there. And there was this massive belief that I was carrying, and I don't know for how many years and when it even happened, it doesn't even matter. But the point is my belief was really unhelpful, and it would say, you don't know how to earn an income that's consistent or enough. And so I made financial decisions based on that belief. And so the ripple effect of that was dodgy deals, because I've invested, risky ones where it's gone totally wrong. And that's Leo. He always seems to appear just as the video is being... Yes. I can't go to the bathroom with you right now, no. See? Nice magic. And this is what it's been like, right?
Isn't it
So
real?
even on
Isn't it real?
my sweetheart, no, not right now. No, I'm not going to bring the laptop to your toilet. So this is what it's been like, literally every single time. You know, when I've been on sales calls, when I've been on, so just had to go with it, like literally go with it. Because, you know, 5-year-olds, they're law unto themselves. So in that belief, I just broke through that. And I said, yes, I can earn an income. I can earn an income that can be consistent and enough to look after me and Leo.
And what have your business wins been? Like, what's different now?
Don't put the television on.
I won't put the television on. So, other things I'm doing. So they have been quite phenomenal, actually. This month alone, I've made £8,000
Wow.
in the bank. Well, actually, just £8,000 in sales. And as a result of that, well, what can I share? Basically, it's opened up a whole new world to me in terms of even how I do business. So how I come across, what I'm putting together, how I put it together, and to give you an idea, £8,000 really was probably what I earned last year with this
Wow.
skill. So I've made £8,000 just this month. So then if I go back to the last 60 days, 12K within the last 60 days.
Amazing.
Which is quite phenomenal, because I always thought that was for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, I always thought that was pie in the sky, that's not for me. I'm just, obviously there's something wrong with me, or just all of these crappy beliefs that really, if I just confronted them and just took action, as I've seen, they've all just kind of disappeared. And you're absolutely right. Like, I've had some humdinger breakthroughs. And one of the things that I heard today was the breakthrough I had that got me up, woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning, is actually this lady came into my life so that I had that breakthrough, because since then, things have changed completely for me. I've made, in the last week, this is the 8K that I've made. So it's been quite phenomenal. But also, I never knew that sales could be sacred. I had a sacred spiritual moment today with a prospect that I have never had before. And from start to finish, it was just so beautiful. And the space in which we were both in, and she was being held, was just, I would never have been able to have done that if you hadn't come into my life and I'd said yes to this. And I was shit scared. And I have been. I've been moments going, this isn't working, what have I done? But I've just stuck to the process and picked myself up again and just carried on, because I know about momentum. Like, you just keep on priming the pump, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. I thought, you know what? It's who I become in the process anyway. I don't know who I'm going to become. I have no idea. I just have no idea. And what I'm noticing is I'm going from this sort of coach into a business owner. Now, that's something that I did not expect. I'm looking at this now as a business versus just me doing something now and again. And that's been a game changer for me. massively. Yeah. And yeah, you're just so sharp and like right on it, and you just sit there and you go, do that. And you're like, all right. And it works. It's like, which?
Well, your results show that. Your results show to make 8K from your coaching business last year, it indicates someone who isn't committed to their coaching business and is kind of playing at it, and it's a bit of a hobby.
Yeah.
Whereas
very much.
8K in a month, you do that 12 months of the year, that's a £100,000 business. It's a six-figure coaching business. Like, that's what you're now on track to achieve.
I know, and it's amazing. And the thing is what's really cool is that just little things have just made a huge difference. Like even just how to structure a Facebook Live or an organic webinar. I just get on and just even having that little structure that you've given me, it's a game changer. And as a result of that, I now have my own little strategy going on, because I know I can book calls from that half an hour that I get on and share. I know I can book calls from that and make money, because actually that's actually where I've made my money, is just that webinar that I've done has opened up a whole new world to me that I didn't even know existed. New type of client that could actually be far more, it's just opened up a whole new world to me that I just didn't even know was available to me.
And I'm so glad you said that, because that's what I said at the start of the program, which is, I knew you were all going to make sales. I knew you were all going to grow your audiences. I knew you were going to learn things like Facebook Lives, how to do Facebook Lives and generate business from it. But what I really wanted you to get was that inner confidence of, I know how to create money. I know how to go and get clients. I know how to create business opportunity, like on command, on demand. Because I think once you have that, that's priceless. You don't need to be fearful about anything that's happening in the economy when you know how to do that. So
it's such an invaluable skill regardless, and a skill that I think as a business owner you need to have. And I've made sales in the past before, but I've always shrunk back. And I was inviting mums to come over here, and I was really underselling. Like I wasn't, I should have been charging a hell of a lot more for the experience that they were getting. And as a result, I've put my prices right up. But also as a result of that, I've created a whole different program that is working beautifully and magically as a container that is it's an accelerator, as it were. And I've just seen how powerful a container can be when you're in that momentum, and the transformation's a lot quicker. So thanks to Bernadette, just even having that, getting on the call every single day, I've now shifted to getting on calls every single week with my clients and holding them for the 3 months, and giving them that security. Because I think partly that knowing the group was just awesome. The rallying around, the support that everybody gave each other, and especially now, like there's so much fear out there, and I've bought into that fear now and again, but I've always come back to the group and I'm like, oh yeah, ooh, this is so lush and nourishing, and we're all in it together, and there is this connection and resonance that during this time I think has been so key, because isolation, it was almost like a relief. Every I was so excited to get on the calls, because I'm like, oh my god, this is like my little, well, actually it's not spa really, because it was more than, I was just like, don't do that. It was more like just coming home again and just coming off a call going, right, okay, next. And just having that container was so important to keep the momentum going and priming that pump, because now the pump is primed, I can see the energy happening, because my Facebook group was really stagnant. And I've grown it by about 400 mums in the last 60 days.
Wow.
So
That's fantastic. And
yeah.
so my last question for you, where do you think you would be now if you hadn't have said yes, if you'd have carried on flirting and creatively avoiding me?
Gosh, I would be sitting in a whole pile of worry probably, because part of this motivation, or at least if I hadn't done it, I'd probably have to move out of my own family home.
Wow.
I can't afford to live here under the circumstances as it was before. So earning an income in order for me to be able to actually still live in this beautiful space where I can invite mums to come, and that can be also a really beautiful and nourishing experience for them, is really important to me. And I didn't realize how important it was, but I was just putting up with the idea that, yeah, I'll find somewhere else because I have to, versus I actually don't want to do that. So if that's the case, what do I need to do in order for that not to be the case? So your stories about people not taking steps or having, like, not sort of keeping themselves in denial about the cost to them, the real cost to them in staying where they are. That's the real cost to me, was to lose my family home. And I was like, damn it, that's not going to happen. I love my home. I love living here. I love the fact that Leo loves living here. It's such a beautiful space, and I feel so grateful to have it. Why would I do that to myself? So I thought, you know what? I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to put up with that anymore. So the cost of staying was far outweighed the cost to move forward. But I'm so glad I had clarity on that. And I think that's been key, was really getting clear on what is the cost to me staying where I really am, and getting really real with myself on that one. And that's it really, is living in the fear, not being able to earn an income, going, what am I going to do? See, this is what it's been like for the last 60 days. And yeah, just generally that. I now know I'm not going to have to move out. I can actually create an awesome business where I can bring mums here when this whole lockdown is over and done with, and they can keep on experiencing the magic of the space.
Fantastic. Well done, Marina. It's been brilliant to see your growth and your success. So if what you've been hearing from the ladies is inspiring you and it's resonating with you, I want you to know that we are going to do another 30-day program. So on the 1st of June, from the 1st of June to the 30th June, I'm running the Online Profits Quick Start. Just as you've heard, it's a daily program, so there's content every day, and there's also live contact with me each week, a couple of times a week. We hop on a call live, so I can give you that laser coaching that these women have been describing. And what we're doing in Quick Start, it really is about helping you to master getting clients, helping you to master cash flow. Marina touched on this, that a lot of people want to move to automation. Rebecca talked about going to one-to-many and leverage. And I have like a strict order that I do this with for my clients. So I say, first of all, you've got to master cash flow. Once you've mastered cash flow, you know that you can get a paying client under any circumstances. Then that's the time to leverage and move to some of the more automated things like selling one-to-many, like delivering one-to-many. And then finally, once you automate all of that, you can have things like evergreen webinars and automated sales funnels and membership programs and passive income, streams of income. But you can't scale it until you nail it. And so this 30-day program is for you if you may have already been in business. So like Loretta, has been working with clients, but it's all word of mouth and referral. like Rebecca, who has been working, for decades as a hypnotherapist, but her business wasn't where she wanted to be because she was still stuck at the one-to-one session versus offering the packages that she really wanted. So it may be that you've already been in business, but you just know that you're not reaching the client base that you want to. And often that desire to get more clients isn't always driven by financial, although, as Marina's been very explicit, the pain can be financial if you haven't mastered it. But I hope you can hear in every one of these examples, there's a bigger calling. Like these women are describing, there was almost like a leadership call, a sense of calling to stepping up and serving their clients in that way. So I want you to know, if this is resonating with you, this is what this is all about. Yes, it is about get money in the bank and enroll clients now, because frankly, at this moment in time, you need to know this skill more than ever. Like this is the skill that will help you ride out what's coming. And yes, it's been tough, what's happened and lockdown, but as we emerge out of lockdown, the economy is going to get tougher for many people. And now is the time for you to really choose to master this area and master your mindset so you can stay focused and positive, both for yourself, both for your family, for your clients, for your industry. Be a leader in your industry. Be the example in your industry. Like, I bet there's hypnotherapists now that look at Rebecca and go, well, you know what? I thought this meant the end of my business, but now I see what she's doing. She's given me some hope. Same could be said about Loretta. Same could be said about Nikki and Marina. So, this is a call to leadership. Yes, it's about getting new clients. And yes, it's about, getting the financial payoff that you've heard everyone share here, but it's about so much more than that. So if this speaks to you, I want to invite you to check out the Online Profits Quick Start program. I hope that a comment has been dropped in the chat with a link to it, that you can go and check out. We are starting on 1st of June. We're going to be running for 30 days. I guarantee that you're going to make back more than your investment in your program, in this program. And if for any reason you don't, then your program is free. That's basically how it works. I do expect you to take action. And you've heard, we're not painting pictures here of like, oh, this is just really easy. You just press these buttons and it happens. The hardest part of this is going to be you coming face to face with yourself and bumping up against your old stories, limiting beliefs. But if you say yes to this, you're saying yes to having a mentor like me on your team. And I have the smarts and the heart to guide you through this experience. If you hop into this boat with me, you are going to be so much stronger and wiser come the 30th of June. So if you feel cool to join me, go and check out the page. You'll see more success stories on the page, more results from other people in this program. And I'd love to have you join us. Anything else you want to say then before we wrap up?
Me.
Leah,
if you're on the fence, jump over, because Bernadette really is the real deal. And I've been in this game for a long, long time, and I really agree with Nikki that I don't think there's anybody like Bernadette out there. She really knows what she's doing, and there's no fluff. It's just really streamlined, and you just take the steps. It's super easy. Like even for me, like going, okay, what, do this. Just do it. Just do it. Oh my God, just do it.
Thanks, Marina. Night, Leo. Night.
And what I encourage people to do it is because I think when it's in a 1 month intensive, it's like you can do anything for a month. Sometimes when something's more drawn out and maybe there's less connection on a weekly basis, it's totally different when you have access to a coach like Bernadette on a daily basis, live, face to face, where you can ask questions every day. You just speed up your learning process, and you're working through any little shadows in your mind, fears, doubts, lack of clarity. You have the opportunity to work through it every single day. And I think the momentum you build in that type of concentrated daily environment is just amazingly helpful.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rebecca. Okay. So, so that's it from us, guys. Head on over to the page. We've dropped the link in the comments below. I hope you've been inspired by these stories. These women are going to carry on growing. They're going to carry on powering on. We may bring them back in another 3 months, 6 months, so you can hear how much further that they've come. But I hope that the very least we've done tonight is to really inspire you to think about what is it that you're called to, and how can you best serve not just yourself at this time, but how can you serve your clients? How can you serve your communities in a way that you will win? So on that note, I shall bid you adieu, and I'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.